Hey, what's good? So, welcome to my underrated fights series where I talk about certain fights. I give tribute to certain fights that don't usually get talked about when it comes to boxing fans when they discuss great fights such as Hagler Hearns or Gotti Ward or Castillo Corrales. These are underrated fights that I believe should be talked amongst boxing fans as one of the greatest fights of all times, but for some reason, whatever reason, they don't. Today, I will be talking about Nigel Benn versus Anthony Logan. And this fight, do yourself a favor and check this fight out, like right now. This is a shootout fight. Anybody that knows anything about Nigel Benn knows that he's a warrior, throws wild swing shots, always searching for the knockout, every single punch. This fight took place in October 26, 1988, and this was kind of a sort of a grudge match. These guys had bad blood. Anthony Logan called Nigel Benn a load of garbage in the press conference, and they almost they almost fought in the press conference. It almost came to blows. And this fight was for the Commonwealth title in England. And what a fight it was, man. Spoiler alert, as always. Nigel Benn just goes on, wild shots, bam, bam, trying to knock this guy out as soon as possible, man. And it looks like, okay, it's going to be a short night because it looks like Logan can't really keep Ben off him, but he sort of does, or he takes those blows the first minute and a half, and then he starts getting a little bit of his distance, and almost at the end of the round, he throws a right hand that drops Nigel Benn, but for some reason this dummy ref he scores it he says it's a slip. But this round was just insane, and then you got Nigel Benn getting up like whatever, and still like a uh, bulldozing himself against Anthony Logan, but taking big shots in the process. And that's when the round ends in like a great freaking round. And you see Nigel Benn just looking back at Logan, and Logan raises her right hand like, "What's up, man? What's up?" Next round starts the same thing. It looks like Nigel Benn wants to end this quick because he knows he's hurt, But Logan's still throwing hard punches, and this is when Logan catches Nigel Benn with some hard right hands, and then he follows it up with some uppercuts, hard right uppercuts. Man, you're like, oh man, could this be stopped? He pushes him into the ropes, hits him with some left hooks, right uppercuts, some other straight rights, hard shots, man. I'm talking about hard shots. Somehow, Ben gets into the center of the ring, and Logan follows him, and he's like trying to finish him off, and he hits him with the right hand, but then this is when Nigel Benn hits Logan with the left hook. Boom! Twists his head. Bam! Falls on his back. It's like, oh, it's done. Logan, you're saying to yourself, Logan is not going to get up. It was a big shot by a big puncher. We're talking about Nigel Benn here, who has 18 knockouts in 18 fights. 9 of them who had came in the first round. 14 of those knockouts came within 2 rounds. And as I'm talking, I think this video might already be longer than that actual fight that took place, because this fight was over in the second round. Anthony Logan gets up. He kind of falls up again. He's trying to get up. He falls again, and then the referee just stops it. His corner protests, but everyone knows that it's over, man. That left hook landed, and it's done. And yeah, so if you haven't checked this fight out, check it out now. A 2-round shootout, like you'll be entertained throughout. And I just want to say that if you don't know about Nigel Benn, check him out now. One of England's greatest fighters, one of the greatest middleweight and super middleweight fighters ever, I believe. One of the most ruthless champions there's ever been. They were comparing him to Mike Tyson at that time. And if you've seen him fight and if you've seen some of his fights, man, just watch his fights. Watch his fight against Gerald McLennan. Tragic fight, actually. Watch it, though. It's a good fight. Watch his fights with Chris Eubank, Iran Barkley. Man, this guy was just a great fighter. He developed into more of a technical fighter later in his days, but he Nigel Benn was a bad man. He came with that bad intention. It's the Dark Destroyer, baby. It's the Dark Destroyer, and Logan was no chump either. He was supposed to be bulldozed by Nigel Benn. It was supposed to be easy work, but he gave him a handful, man. He dropped him. It wasn't counted, but he almost stopped him in the second round. But Nigel Benn just would not allow it. He just would not. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. What are some underrated fights that you could think of? Maybe that I don't know, that you could think of that should be talked about amongst boxing fans, but for some reason or another, don't. Leave your comments, rate, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.